Hello everyone, good evening. So today we are here to have a Socratic dialogue on system thinking. We'll understand how system thinking is effective in real world problem solving. And before we start, I would request everyone to please introduce themselves. I'll go first. I'm Prerna Latkani, working at Deep Thought as a data champion, and I'm the moderator for this session.
Hi everyone, I'm Pratibha and I am working as an organizational psychologist in Deep Thought and currently handling the team winning culture lab.
Hi everyone, this is Priyanshu. I am a software developer in Deep Thought.
Yeah, hi everyone. I am Rakesh Sakla. I am a data champion at Crown Technologies, and today I represent the team Growth Nexus.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandeep Singh and I am the coach for Team Growth Nexus.
Hi everyone, I'm Paridhi and today I'm the coach for Team Engage Rise.
Hi everyone, I'm Darshana Adam. I'm a UI/UX designer at Deep Thought, and today I'm representing Team EngageWise.
Hi everyone, I'm Simran and I'm working in Deep Thought as organizational.
Hello everyone, I am Roshni Chawla. I am working as the role of financial data scientist at Deep Thought and I am representing Team EngageWise.
Hello everyone, I'm Surya. I'm a co-mod for today's session and I work as a video editor at TLS Lab. So moving forward, which team is going first for the pitch?
We will go first.
Okay, team Growth Nexus. Before starting your pitch, we would like to know why you named yourself Growth Nexus and additionally to summarize your pitch in two-liners.
Okay, so growth nexus is because we are explaining the growth we can get by understanding different interconnecting elements that impact the sales of any organization. Yeah.
And summarize your pitch in two-liners.
Yeah. So our pitch is to understand what are some problems that an organization face in order to in terms of growth. So we'll explain that through our pitch.
Okay, thank you, team. You can go ahead with your pitch.
Yeah, so the topic is systems thinking. So we have come up with a assumed problem statement that is sales are stagnant despite marketing efforts. This is the problem statement. We'll try to solve this and find the patterns using the systems thinking concept. So why is it worth solving? This problem is directly related to the revenue, the sustainability, and the expansion of the company. So of course, this is one of the priority problem that the company should focus on. Then everyone in the company is affected by this problem, whether it's the sales team, marketing team, leadership, or customers. And what would change, of course, if we focus on this problem, we can identify the systems, we can identify what are the loopholes, what are the negative patterns that are or elements within the ecosystem, and then we can focus on that. Next slide, please. Yeah. So if you talk about the key stakeholders or elements, the leadership, customers, HR department, marketing team, they are all related to each other. What if the communication between the marketing department and what if the customers are handling with some other environmental or contextual issues? That is why they're not able to focus on the sales and we're not adapting to those needs and requirements. What if the leadership is not taking the right decisions? So these are the elements that you're focusing on. And once we focus on the elements, we try to recognize what patterns or connections or relationships that can come up with. So we have listed a few of them. For example, information flow. What kind of information is passing from the sales team to the marketing team or the leadership to the other labs that are present within the ecosystem, or the resource flow, what kind of resources are available to them, and the decision flow. The decision that the leadership is taking, is it the right decision based on the context and the requirements of the team?
Yeah, so sometimes leads will created but not converted into the customer. There are some reinforcing loops like positive, where we are on time follow up or faster follow up through get positive response, and there are negative loops like we are delaying to follow up the person, and from that not we not get the expected output. Even sometimes due to real life scenarios, the sales is take the deal is whenever deal wants to closing a deal, it's take time. Next slide please. There are some assumptions which also prevent the sales. Suppose we think that key if we connect more clients or more leads, we will get more revenue, but it is not really happening. We can track it by CRM. Even sometimes we think that key if sales team work hard and work effectively, then he will get the response. But the thing is that he need to first understand the customer's perspective and what he want. Then he is able to convert it into customer. And even sometimes we are thinking that we are targeting right audience, but that is not correct. If we are able to identify the correct audience, we can grow our sales. Over to Priyanshu.
Yeah, so there are some points that we can leverage in order to identify what are the problems and how we can solve it. The key areas for change here could be we can find better leads that we can say better quality leads that would be qualified for our company or for our product. We can do timely follow up in order to close them early. We can understand what our customer needs and we can also do effective intervention. What is the meaning of that? We can create some growth funnel in which we can analyze at what point the customer is dropping off, how to implement this and how to adapt this. We can track conversion rate at each funnel state that I already explained ki in which stage the customer is dropping off. We can adjust strategies based on CRM insights we have on our customers, and we can continuously refine the follow-up processes and customer engagement, or how we are engaging with the customer in order to increase our sales. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Team Growth Nexus. Would Team EngageWise have any questions for them? Anyone?
Yes, I have one question. That when we talk about systems approach, it should start from very initial stage. You said your problem statement was sales are stagnant. It also can be through flaws in product. And if you focus more around the sales, and even if you look about your leadership perspective, don't you think a follow-up once a month or weekly would be a good strategy to have a control on overall business?
See, when you talk about systems thinking, it is not about whether the problem is on a core or whether it's an underlying problem or something that you can see on surface. You take the problem statement, then you try to identify what patterns are there, and sometimes we have some assumptions. Okay, this could be the reason, but if you think from a systems perspective, there could be some latent factors and the latent patterns as well. That may not be visible until or unless you put your thoughts or your you try to actually identify them. So it does not matter whether the problem is something that on a core level or is it on a surface level. Once you identify the problem, try to go in depth of it. Like systems thinking is all about the holistic perspective. That is why when we talk about the patterns in our slides, we said there could be multiple links, how like there can be multiple elements firstly, and they can be connected to each other. It could be direct or it could be complex. That totally depends.
Did that answer your question, Roshni?
Yes.
Anyone else?
Yes,
I
I
have,
have a question.
okay, yeah, I will go. How do positive and negative feedback loops are impacting the conversion rates in sales?
Darshana, we want to keep the discussion around system thinking. So if you can just reframe your question around that.
So, like in the feedback loops, the things are connected, right? So, how these connections in the feedback loops are like impacting to the conversion rates of the sales?
Okay, I'll give you an example. So, like Rakesh mentioned about there could be positive loops or negative loops. One example of positive loops could be if we are following up faster and on time, uh, the leads are more engaged and therefore the rate of conversion is higher. On the other hand, if it's a negative loop, we're not tracking them properly or we're not following up with them on time or missing the follow-ups. So they are losing the interest and we're not able to, convert them. So the sales are stagnant. So if we identify these loops, we can know if this is something we should continue or this is something.
Pratibha, can you keep the answer short?
Sure,
so
sure.
that-
I've already answered, yes.
Darshana, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah, Simran, you can go with your question.
Yeah, so my question is that how does the quality of leads affect the efficiency of the entire sales process?
Okay, I would like to answer that question. So, as of the quality of leads, we talked about in some point that sometimes we think that we have a lot of leads. Like, so in every aspect we choose quality over quantity, because if we are, for example, if I will give an example, if I build some product and it is for some different customer audience which we are targeting, so no matter how much we got the leads from that indirect, like the customer which we are not targeting, right? So it doesn't matter how much leads we have from their side. If we want to generate sales, if we want to generate more sales, then we are supposed to target the right customer, the right customer which are suitable for our product.
Uh, I have one more question. But then, how does the customer behavior influence the overall dynamics of a business system then?
See, if you're not able to get the right kind of customers, then of course, maybe one example, maybe the sales team and marketing team, there's a miscommunication between them. The kind of product that they want to sell, the right kind of information did not lead to the marketing team, and they are presenting it or advertising it in a manner that is not targeting the right sort of leads or the customers that we want. We are getting the lead, but for the longer run, it's not ideal for us. So of course, the quality of customers, what we are getting affects the overall effectiveness of the business.
Simran, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Uh, any more question, team engage wise? Okay, I think we can go for
Yeah,
the
I have
next
a.
pitch. Yeah, Simran, go ahead.
So, you talked about the CRM, right? So, in what ways, uh, like, in what ways can analyzing CRM data reveal hidden interdependencies within the sales and the marketing system?
Okay. So see, Priyanshu mentioned about the interventions like a growth funnel we can come up with, and CRM is sort of a data that will help us analyze the patterns that are coming in play. Now, if we're following a growth funnel, there is a step-by-step process that we're following, and through CRM, with each step, we can identify some patterns or data that will help us understand what is working for us, what is not working for us, what are the recurring trends that are coming in play, and based on that, we can make the decisions.
Simran, does
Okay.
that answer your question? Okay. So, in the interest of time, I think we go for the next page. Uh, Before starting your pitch, I would like to know why you named yourself Engage Wise, and additionally summarize your pitch in two-liner.
Yeah, so our team name EngageWise is to promote mindful and meaningful screen time use by encouraging balanced engagement and digital well-being. And summarizing our pitch in 1 minute, so our system thinking approach to reducing screen time and mental burnout by shifting from forced limit to smart nudges, self awareness, and adaptive intervention that empower users to make mindful digital choices. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, in today's fast paced digital world, excessive screen time has become a major challenge, leading to digital addiction, then decreased productivity and mental burnout. So, while existing solutions try to limit usage through restrictions and time limits, right? They often fail to address the root causes, our habits. So, true change require a system that not only tracks screen time but also help users build healthier habits. So it should work effortlessly across devices, giving users a control over their choices without making them feel restricted or frustrated. So the goal is to create a seamless, empowering experience that encourage balance rather than forcing the limits. So the key stakeholders involved include individuals struggling to manage their screen time, app developers who design platform to maximize engagement, OS providers who control system-wide features, behavioral scientists who study habit formation, and policymakers who may introduce regulations for a digital wealth.
We often assume that screen time reduction requires strict limits, that people resist intervention, but these ideas aren't always true. Small reminders and gentle nudges often work better than the hard rules. Instead of forcing people to stop using apps, we should design ways that help them choose when to take a break. Now let's look at map relationship and interconnectedness. Screen habits don't just depend on the user. Apps, notification, and recommendation system all play a role. They encourage more screen time by keeping user engaged. At the same time, features like screen time reminders try to reduce usage. By understanding how these different parts connect, we can find better ways to help user take control of their screen time without feeling forced. Now let's analyze the feedback loops and the dynamic patterns. Our screen time is shaped by the patterns. Some things make us stay on the screen longer, like endless scrolling and app notification. Other things like tiring of your eyes or screen time warnings help us stop. The problem is that the things keeping us on screen are much stronger. So to fix this, we need to make the reminders and limits more effective. So people naturally takes break before they feel burnout. Over to you, Roshni.
Okay, so what are exactly the features that our pitch offers? That is, it would include pre-app nudges. That means you have a additional intentional setting prompts before launching the app that you are here for breaks or it's your working hours so that we can move to a more focused mode. You can also have social accountability and challenges in which you have group-based screen times. And apart from that, you can have reflection so that you can analyze the effectiveness of the sessions that you have. Next, we have how you implement, monitor, and adapt to this model. So this would significantly help you notice that you have reduced your unintentional screen time, you have reported improvements in your focus and your mental well-being, and you have a good habit tracking. So in so this ensures flexibility and adoption of this through awareness campaigns and partnerships can be done. So this is a holistic approach to reduce a screen time, but not only just reshaping your digital environment, but also to promote mindful and intentional use of it.
Engage wise and growth nexus. You guys can ask them questions.
Okay, so my question is ki how do you think you will implement this system? Because in my perspective, your system will reduce the time which I spend on social media, right? And why some company want that to happen with their app or whatever we can say with their website? Why do you think that they will let this happen?
Priyanshu, would you please reframe your question around system thinking?
Yeah, so my question is how do you make sure that this system will be implemented in social media when they'll not allow it?
So basically, he's trying to ask, trying to create a system which is disrupting another system. So how are you going to tackle that?
I feel our idea has a completely different positioning. It's not about how you reduce your screen time significantly, but how you structure it more or you optimize it more. So we are not putting timers that, okay, you are going to only watch this much. It is according to the time which you watch. For example, there is a fruit break or some entertainment session that is tend to be short so that you actually know you don't indulge in mindless scrollings, but at times you are looking for some mindful or relaxed times, you can have a longer duration that. So we are not restricting your time, we are just having a approach so that it divides your time, and it will increase the efficiency of applications as well. More people would be interested in downloading such applications who offer such optimizing limits, I feel.
Not a
Priyanshu, does
follow
that,
question.
yeah, go ahead, Pratik.
Yeah, no, I'm asking a different question. If Priyanshu does not have a follow.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is a very complex topic, which is like addiction. So when you talk about addiction, there are a lot of factors and elements that can come in play. So how have you listed them? And when you created this system, did you identify those factors as well? Because the addiction or the screen time is not just about limiting it or utilizing it in a better manner. There could be some severe psychological factors that can also come in play with this.
I feel when we talk about habit tracking, when we talk about gaining insights about such that how you effectively know that what you are doing, you have a reflection about what all things you have watched, and it won't even create a significant time you have to devote to it. You are not sitting and analyzing. There's just some pop-up that eventually unintentionally, makes you do that. So I feel that is one of the factor in which you self-respect, retrospect, introspect, and you get a lot of insights from that.
What would be the reinforcing feedback loops that you will be looking at while you're implementing the system?
I feel the kind of reflections people put, the kind of limits people put, and how do actively they engage in this activity, how they actively update their system, how they actively take initiative to have an optimized limit, and how they are actually using it.
But does that answer your question? Any more questions?
Yes, I have one question. Like in your system, notifications plays a very important role, but I get hundreds of notification on daily basis. So how do you think your notifications will create an impact, and I'll
We
use that
are
system?
we are not sending any notifications to them, but whenever you are using any app, for example, if you are using Instagram, so we will firstly share you a reminder that from which extent you want to use that app, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And after the time is done, like you watched for 20 minutes, we will again share you a reminder that your time is up. So you want to scroll it up more, or you just want to just close your app. It's like that.
Priyanshu, does that answer your question?
But that system already exists in the way of digital well-being, I guess, right? They allow you to set a timer for your social media application. For example, 10 minutes, and then you'll get a pop-up ki whether you want to scroll more, whether you want to use more, or the app will be closed.
But not in every application you have that feature, no? Like in WhatsApp, on email, on LinkedIn, YouTube. Okay, see, YouTube have that feature, but there are a lot of apps who don't have this feature.
And also, adding to that, our approach is not restricted to only setting the limit. It also includes such diverse aspects, such as you want to have a break, you want to have a focus session, you want to have an entertainment break, so that you can also have a reflection upon that. It's just not restricted to a smaller concept of having a time limit.
Okay, understood.
Okay, I think we can end this series of questions and answers. Now, before wrapping up, I would like to we would like to have three reflections on what you're learning of what you have learned from this system thinking dialogue, and how can you implement it on your projects, current projects which you are doing. So we would like to have three reflections.
Yeah, okay. So for me, I think when we initially had this concept, I discussed this concept. I thought it's a bit complex, but this time I could sense or could understand that it is not as complex as I think it was. Systems exist everywhere, even if we're connecting and talking and having a discussion. This is one sort of a system, and we can find patterns and elements within it. So understanding everything comes to the, the core factors of some whatever you're working on. So whether we talk about MVP, lead method, or this helps us identify the core issues, the core problems, or the core features that are there, and then in a hierarchical manner move upward or downward, whatever is required. So knowingly or unknowingly, we have kind of been using the systems thinking, but now I can more proactively uh, think about it and understand the elements or the reinforcement or the trends or the loops that are there. So yeah.
Thank you, Pratibha. Who is going next? Okay, thank you, Paridhi. Over to you.
I think the major thing that stood out to me was a lot of times when we create systems, we don't think about the constraints very much. I mean, when Pratibha asked the team, right, about how are you going to take the other psychological factors into account, which lead to social media addiction. So that made me realize that we talked about and we thought about how to include people in whatever system we're coming up with, but we did not very explicitly discuss the constraints of the system. Like, what section of people are we excluding? Because people who have, let's say, social media addiction or any form of digital addiction, we can't really force them into using our system. We can't forcefully bring them into our system. That has to come from them, whether or not they think of it as a problem that they want to solve. So whenever you're creating a system, very explicitly identifying not only who are your stakeholders, but also who are not your stakeholders, who are you excluding, who is, who can't be a part of your current system at least. I think that is also a very important thing because that brings more focus to the system you're creating because you have a clearer idea of who your actual target population or target user is.
Thank you, Paridhi. Who is going next? No one?
I'll go. Or Sandeep, you can go.
Thank you, Sandeep.
So, according to me, this systems thinking approach is basically what we have been applying in our whole life, basically through, we can say our childhood, but it doesn't, it is not in a very structured way. We don't know what are elements, how do we define them, how do we, like we can say manage these small elements and connect them basically. But now that we know these systems and how to think in terms and how to structure and what are the loops and what are the, we can say, elements, as well as what are the interconnectedness between them, then we have a different, we can say, a whole lot nuanced structure in our own mind, through which we can build better systems and solve problems. So yeah, that would be my reflection.
Thank you, Sandeep. Roshni, would you like to go?
Okay, so my takeaway was to have a holistic approach to everything we look forward to. Apart from what constraints we have, what impact our model has, and what all elements it had, and what actually are the reason of having those. There are a lot of concepts in which we could have a detailed reflection on so that we only adapt to our processes. We know that what exactly the system is all about, and we think about that on a deeper level to understand it so that it will also ensure a smooth execution.
Thank you, Roshni. I think we can end the session here. Thank you, Team Engage Wise, and thank you, Team Growth Nexus. Thank you for the amazing session.